All right, guys, welcome to the call tonight. So I apologize for the 3-minute delay in getting on, but last minute I decided to go ahead and record this via Facebook Live. So I went ahead and set up my iPhone to record this via a Facebook Live that will broadcast directly into the event, but also but on other webinar participants, and that way obviously to have this YouTube replay for those of you who registered and are catching this at a later date. So a couple different ways to view this, but if you are catching this on the Facebook feed and you're wondering why isn't she looking at me, this is really awkward, it's because this was intended to be a webinar. So, but still you're able to follow along whether you're on the Facebook feed or in the webinar room. So thank you to those of you who have are making it live. I know that not everyone can make it at 9 o'clock tonight. That's okay. Unfortunately, the link will be posted right to your email account afterwards. So let me go ahead and introduce myself because I know many of you don't know who I am. So I think you know my name by now is Megan Eggleston, and I have been wanting to share this topic at a more public level. I've been having a lot of conversations and a lot of mentor sessions with a lot of people one-on-one, and I finally decided to put this into a training of sorts and really kind of simplify it and kind of formally create something around it that I think people can kind of go to help them in this area. So the topic tonight we're discussing is finding your purpose. Like, this is the age-old question, right? Like, everybody wants to know, like, what am I here for? You know, we all know those like freak show people who like know they're going to be a doctor when they're like 5 years old, and they actually like every decision that they make is filtered through that, you know, idea, that dream, and they make that happen. Like, we all wish we had that much clarity in our youth, or at least some point along the way. Like, by the time we got to college would be a good idea, right? Because we got to put a lot of money into that education, or whatever. We all feel like, you know, by the time we're an adult, we really want to have a clear sense of direction of what we're here for. I don't think most people desire to just go get a job to make money to live. Most people do want to know that what they're doing day to day is, you know, supporting some greater purpose. And I know this is an area that I've only been able to uncover in the past few years. So I guess the question is, why should you listen to me? Why should I care? I guess the number one reason is because I feel like I have taken some actionable steps to define my purpose. And even though at the time I didn't know that was the intention, even though I was intentional in each of the steps, I didn't know those steps were leading me to my purpose. And I've mentored people, even people outside of my industry, to help them find where their purpose is leading them. So I've been able to help many others to find the direction of their calling with some of these steps that I'm going to outline for you. It was one of the, like I said, it wasn't really intentional in the time, but when I look back, I can think of many things, honestly, that I did, but there are 3 really important things components to this that I think really led me to know that at any given moment, at any given time, I am where I'm supposed to be, that where I am is where I'm being led, or if you're somebody who believes in God, and shares the faith with me, I am in God's will. And I can't, most of my life, I can't say that's been the case. I felt lost at many times in my life. So let me kind of give you back up and show you a little bit more into my story, peek into my life, and kind of tell you how I came to discover this. And then I'm going to outline these 3 different tips. So I grew up, very modest. Isn't that how most stories? No one says. I grew up really fortunate. But yeah, I mean, but I was fine. We grew up in my mom was a single mom most of the time. She had 4 kids. She was making it work. We grew up in an urban area. It was tough, but she worked hard, and she showed me the value of hard work. We didn't have much, but we had everything we needed. So I don't have a Cinderella story, so to speak. But my mom definitely taught me to work hard and to be independent, and that achieving is what gets you places. And so I grew up with that mentality. I was the girl who, you do well in school, you do what you're supposed to do, you behave, you get good grades, you go to college, you follow all that, you stay in the box. you do everything you're supposed to do, and then life will turn out roses for you, right? Like you're gonna, if you go to college, if you graduate school with good grades, you're gonna be a success, right? You're going to land on your feet, and you're gonna be of the most successful in life if you do all those things. And that's the way I believed, and I was a people pleaser. I was one of those people who I wanted to make sure that everyone was happy with me. I was doing everything I was supposed to do to make people proud of me. I was excelling in everything I did. I did everything right. And anytime that there was something that I was pursuing that wasn't going to be, I wasn't going to be a rock star at, or I might have some trouble with, I quit it immediately. Like, well, that must not be my calling, that must not be my purpose. Like, isn't your purpose that thing that you're just like really good at, that God gave you these amazing talents at? Like, it's like if I came out of the womb and could play the violin, like, amazing, like I would know that's where God led me. Or like if I came out of the womb and I was just like a brilliant artist, like I would know. But most of us don't kind of have this like insane, epic, freakish talent that we're like, well, clearly I was made for X, Y, or Z. Many of us have, many different strengths and weaknesses, and we spend so much time kind of like overanalyzing and reading into all these different things to see, is this where I'm being led? And we wait for those doors to open. Like we wait for those things to kind of land in our lap. And I was that person. Like I was doing all the right things. So shouldn't that happen? So after I got my degrees, I might as well get a second degree because that's better, right? So I got my master's, and I changed my major about 5 different times, stayed 5 years in undergraduate, just because I really had no freaking clue what I was supposed to do. And so I was buying time. I was buying time to figure out, like, okay, where are you taking me, God? Like, what is it that I'm, made for? But I always knew I wanted to be a mom, so that was gonna, that was like a non-negotiable. You find the dude, you get married, you make babies, and we were fortunate enough that I was able to stay home. That's what I chose to do at that time, and I felt very blessed by that. But everything that I did was to make other people happy, and I thought it made me happy. I loved staying at home. That was a blessing to me. But I always kind of had this nagging that there was more. Like I was supposed to do more to provide value outside of just doing the box things, doing the right things. But I didn't rock the boat. I was the person who, made you really comfortable, like, Megan, you can always count on Megan to kind of do what's, right, or what's normal, or what, you expect of her. I was super self-conscious. I never wanted anyone to like see me fail. I never wanted anyone to see me struggle. I wanted people to see me as somebody who had it together. And so I created this perception, and on the surface I did. I mean, I had to hide a lot of things. I had to hide like eating disorders. I had to hide anxiety and depression. I had to hide ADHD. People, when they found out that I was getting diagnosed with that as an adult, were just like, what are you talking about? You were so successful. They don't know what I had to wrestle with, and the masquerade and the charades that I had to, because I was trying to create this perception that I was doing all the right things. But inside, I really wasn't fulfilled and really wasn't satisfied or happy with, what I was on this earth to do. And I started to take some steps that led me in that direction that I'm going to outline for you. But before I get there, I want to share, a little bit more of a tough stretch that kind of led me to finally taking some steps that were outside, my norm. Well, a lot of people don't know this about me, but I was going to be a nurse. I went down the road of actually going into nursing school. I was on an accelerated BSN program for a semester, and then when that wasn't going to be easy, I stopped. Actually, it was in my first month of clinicals, or my first year of clinicals, I stopped. I actually pursued and almost attained an international, an IBCLC certification, so International Board Certified Lactation Consultant. I became a certified lactation counselor. Maybe that's my calling. I'm really passionate about breastfeeding advocacy. And so I thought that was going to be my next direction. But childbirth education. So let me do that. I did so many credits and CECs towards childbirth education. I spent years and money and time on those things. There was a time that I was a jewelry designer. Some of you who've been around who know me from back in the day, I was creating jewelry. I was making jewelry and selling it. Like I had a little entrepreneur business about 13, 14 years ago. So there's all these things that I started because I thought, oh, this has got to be it. This is, purpose-filled. This is doing something. But they always kind of left me kind of feeling, I don't know, like, Like I enjoyed them, but they weren't fulfilling for me. But because I was good at those things, I thought, well, then this must be a path for me, because aren't you supposed to like do things that people expect you to be good at and excel at? But I ended up falling short, really pursuing at a higher level. I went through some tough times that led me to taking some different steps. And most of that is around high-risk pregnancy. I have a high risk. I have high risk for preterm pregnancy and miscarriage. And I'll keep it really short, but my children are very healthy now. There's 3 of them. There's ages 10, 8, and 5. But I've had 5 pregnancies and a couple miscarriages, and all of my pregnancies were preterm, with the exception of the final one. Fortunately, modern medicine kept me pregnant till 37 weeks, and with the help of progesterone shots. It was a very trying and traumatic and stressful several years of having such anxiety around pregnancy and having some pretty traumatic and disturbing miscarriage, some pretty yucky stuff, which sent me into pretty deep pits of anxiety. And praise God that I have 3 healthy children, but I came off that 3rd baby with terrible postpartum depression, and I never thought that was a real thing. I never believed in it, but I was just foolish. But I had 3 healthy kids, and I didn't understand why I was so unhappy. I mean, I had a wonderful husband, a very supportive husband that allowed me to stay home like I wanted to do. I had a new home in this new city that we were living in Rochester, New York at the time. And we were living near his family who love me, and I'm very blessed by. I love them. I had all these things going for me. Beautiful, healthy new baby, home, comfort. So I had everything that you're supposed to really be pleased to have. Isn't that the story? You have the white picket fence and the children, but I knew that there was something missing, and all these different paths that I had gone down hadn't really led me to that place where I felt like I was doing something with purpose. This is where I share with you, how I became a Beachbody coach, and I want to, just let you know, I'm going to share with you about the coaching opportunity after, to share with you how some of these things can lead. You can use some of these tips to within the coaching opportunity, but these 3 things will stand alone. So keep that in mind. But I started Beachbody coaching with the expectation that I will never be successful at this. Actually, a whole year prior to starting, I just enjoyed the discount. I found their phenomenal nutrition product, Shakeology, and it changed my health. It changed me. I won't go into that so much now, but I knew I needed to have it in my life, and I'm going to get a discount. Why not, right? But I knew there was a direct sales thing associated with it, and I didn't want anything to do with that. I had a lot of ideas of about what I thought that was, and not something that I wanted to be associated with. And so I put that on the whatever, just put that over there. I'm gonna enjoy this. But an entire year passes, and I start to feel these weird attraction to looking at coaches and what they're doing. And I started to open up my back office, and I started to be drawn to what was happening. I was like, what is this? I have degrees in kinesiology, and I have a certification. Oh, did I tell you that? I also got a certification as a personal trainer and a group fitness instructor, and that was going to be a path too. Jack of all trades, master of none. So I was like, why would I do that? I have, degrees and certifications. That's silly. People that, just can pay a little money to sign up, that's, okay, cool. Great programs, I've tried them, but if I'm going to get a real job. And I kind of knew that about myself. I knew that I wanted to stay at home, but once my children went to school, I know me, I'm a driven type of person. I need to have, I'm ambitious. I want to have, things to do and challenges to accomplish and tackle. So I assumed that I was going to return to work and, support, add to income to the family as well. We were making it work, but it wasn't super comfortable and easy. So that was just the expectation in my head. So during this time having babies, I was constantly trying to, explore that next thing and figure out what was that next thing going to be. So even though I knew that was years off, speaking of, like, my daughter starts kindergarten this upcoming fall. It's crazy to think about, but this is when I was supposed to go back to work. This is the year that I'm supposed to go and get a real job with my 6-7 years of education and upwards near $40,000 of student loan debt that I had at the time. That's what this time of my life is supposed to be. I'm supposed to go get a job outside this home for 40 plus hours to bring home a paycheck and support the family. But praise God, you know, almost 4 years ago, I said yes to giving Beachbody Coaching a try. And now it's created a 6-figure income, multiple 6-figure income, and it's created so much purpose and joy, so much freedom in my life that I can pick up my kids from school, take them to school, change around my schedule if they get sick. I mean, I've created wealth in our family that is going to set our children up for success long term. Is allowing my husband opportunities. When he was the breadwinner, he was, it was all about, making sure that we were chasing his career and his profession to make sure we were comfortable and supported. But now we have created so much freedom and joy in our lives. We also, but more than that, I am fulfilled at the deepest of levels about what I am doing. The way that I spend my days is something that I find such tremendous joy in, and I know that I'm giving back to this earth and this world and the people around me in a very real way. And someone just said my hair is banging, and I am going to be distracted and say thank you. So how can you ignore a compliment? So thank you, Mary. And I never would have found this, and I never would have gotten to this place if I hadn't done these 3 things. And so I'm going to share those with you. And here's what I think. I think people think these kind of stories. I think people think these kind of things are a fluke. I think they think, oh, you got in the right place at the right time. Oh, you're successful at everything. That's because I've hidden all my failure. That's because for so long, I have kept this charade up that I had it all together. No one got to see my mess. No one got to see that. So people assumed, they assumed that about me. But it wasn't. I didn't catch a break. I wasn't in the right place at the right time. I did these things. Okay. So if you have a pen and paper, this is where I'm going to share my top 3 tips for finding your purpose. This will apply to anything in your life. It's hard not to look at both audiences, but I am on my webinar audience. Take baby steps in faith. Or if you're somebody who calls himself a Christian or believer, I would say obedience. Take baby steps in faith or obedience. What does that mean? Daily, we are presented with tiny little opportunities, small decisions, big decisions, lots of decisions, little things that, little doors that open, that we have a choice. And they're seemingly insignificant. They seem so small. They seem so minute. They seem so trivial that we tend to err on the side of comfort, right? We tend to err on the side of not doing the scarier thing and the more uncomfortable thing because it seems like it's not a big deal. Like, whatever. If I do this, it's not a big deal. Like, if I don't, whatever, it's so small. I would argue that they're not inconsequential. I would argue that that is the way we are spoken to about our purpose and calling. We think that it's going to come down from the skies. Isn't that like what we think? When you think about how you're going to figure out what your calling is, you think there's going to be a day that it is just right in front of you. Boom. Now I know. Who does that happen to? Have you heard that before? Have you seen burning bushes in this day and age? I mean, does God speak from the clouds like that? Is there that's just not real. I 100% believe that the way that we are led to our purpose is that we are given tiny opportunities, small little decisions that we can just choose which way to go. And we're taking little baby steps in faith and obedience. And it's why is this a thing right now? Those things. Why is this kind of nagging? This is stupid. Let's stop. You kind of there's a reason it's nagging you, because you know what? You can't be trusted with the little things or with the big things if you can't be trusted with the little things. I believe that. Why would God trust you with this epic purpose and calling if you can't take what's right in front of you, the little doors he's opening now, and do something with them? Most of these things are around scary things, right? That's just the reality. They're a little bit scary. So I'm not talking taking huge things. I'm talking about expanding your comfort zone, a hair at a time. Those little things that you taking that little step forward isn't gonna rock the world. It's not gonna like, wow, look at what Marianne just did. That was huge and brave. It's gonna seem, it might seem significant to you to act out in faith. But these are like tiny little things. For me, I'll tell you, in the beginning of my business, like posting selfies on social media was like the scariest thing. It seemed like not a big deal, like whatever, like I can help and inspire people by like just sharing other kind of value. But like selfies, like that's just so vain. Like who cares about like looking at my face? Like that's people who are vain do, like absorbed people take selfies. But I knew there was a reason that it was like nagging at me. It was because people wanted to connect. And so it was one of those things I kept saying, well, that's just silly. That's just silly. And I know this seems silly in the conversation, but I want you to, like, when you walk away today, you go about your day tomorrow, you're going to see these little opportunities, like tiny little forks in the road, and you have a decision. I believe that like your calling is seeking you. I believe that every day, every moment of every day, your calling it's there, like it is seeking you. But we are closing the doors. Like they're coming, they're like knocking. They're like little raps at the door, little like they're looking for you. But we tend to like, no, that's not real. That's not a thing. We close those doors. And I'm asking you to consider taking baby steps in obedience, baby steps in faith. Those little things, those little tiny things that are a little bit scary, there's no reason that you should be introduced formally to your calling, your purpose, your grand epic meaning in life if you can't be trusted with these tiny little things. Because your grand big purpose, it's pretty epic, right? I would want to think that whatever you think you're called to do is a really important thing, right? So why should you be introduced to it if these small things that are coming up in your life you're not responsible with? Martin Luther King says, take the first step in faith. You don't have to see the whole staircase. Just take the first step. You might think these little stupid things have nothing to do with your purpose. I certainly didn't. And some of these things that I did at the time, they didn't even seem remotely associated with like coaching or anything else. That's not the point. You don't have to see the whole staircase. You just have to identify all these little insignificant, trivial things in your life, these little steps, these little slightly scary things that you might be brushing off. Maybe some of them you're answering, maybe some of them you're pursuing, but a lot of them you're staying in that comfortable place. And so what could this look like? And this could look so many different ways. Maybe like in your current profession, like there are opportunities for, I don't know, leading a committee or speaking. I don't know, someone, asks you a favor that kind of puts you, that would have you doing something that's uncomfortable for you. If there's something that's uncomfortable for you, that's a really good sign. If there's something in your like life right now that is kind of knocking on your door and it scares you, that's a really good sign. I have learned now that as soon as the thought hits my head, that's like, oh, that's scary. I'm like, oh crap, man, I need to do it. I've learned now that's how it works. And so like as soon as I like say those words to myself, I'm like, all right, that means I gotta do it. Because I know how this works now. Those are like big red flags. Hey, this means this is something you need to explore. And it never fails me. It has never failed me. But it took me until about 3-4 years ago to understand that. Number 2, work on yourself. We tend to think that we're going to be happy, or that we're going to change, or that we're going to do all the right things when circumstances change, when we're in a better place, that we have more clarity and direction. So then we can kind of get to those important things about taking care of ourselves. For example, how often do we put off like eating better, working out, reading books, listening to podcasts that build us up, that make us, that we learn from, that we grow from. Call it self-help. I don't care what you call it, But if you are not using self-help, because I think for me, when I started, it's called personal development now. Okay, I was like, yeah, I know, but this is like a self-help book. Really, like, come on, I don't need this. I'm a normal person. Like, I'm successful. If you have that chip on your shoulder about personal development, you are the person who needs it most. I'm sorry to say it to you. Personal development, reading books, listening to podcasts, listening to people who have walked a path before you that you can learn from. Actively seeking personal growth is what is going to lead you to knowing your purpose. Taking care of the body you have. Why should we be entrusted with a big, great, grand calling if we cannot be entrusted with the physical, spiritual, emotional being we've been entrusted with on this earth? Think about that. We keep waiting to get that, change in our life before we think we'll work on that. We keep putting it off and honoring that in our, ourselves, our mental health, our emotional health, our spiritual health, our physical health. We keep waiting to honor that till certain circumstances change. Your circumstances won't change until you change them by working on you. And so if you're not actively working on yourself, and not to say this is going to look perfect, you're not going to be the person who necessarily come out of the gate, I'm going to work out for an hour, I'm going to read 30 minutes of a great book, I'm going to eat like super healthy, only greens and vegetables and whole, that's just not real life. I just mean somebody that is valuing what they have and grateful for what they have and honoring that in the best of their ability. And that will look so different for all of us. We're all in different parts of that journey of wellness all around. I know I have a lot, I might be on the fit, I might be a fitness person and I'm fit and healthy, and I, do my personal development, but I could really improve my, I could really improve my health in terms of meditation or taking more time to pamper. There are different things that I know I actively need to work on that other people are doing well. So this is not you need to be perfect at it. This just means if you do not have a intention around working on improving areas of your life like that, there's no reason that you should be served up on a platter what your calling is, right? And it wasn't until I started to honor that side of myself that I felt like I was being presented with that direction. Okay, number 3, pick a new everybody. So I'm using the air quotes, and you can put this on your paper, some quotes. Pick a new everybody. What do I mean? Stop caring what everybody thinks. We will shut down even the slightest inkling. Think of some of these crazy harebrained ideas that you've had. And you're like, oh my gosh, I can't even tell my husband. That is just stupid. Silly. Oh my gosh, my mom would think I am nuts. We shut it down before it's even a thing. You may not even be able to articulate anything like this, because before it's even a conscious thought, sometimes I think we shut it down because we know that the mainstream or our family or our closest friends or that girl from high school would think we're crazy. We shut it down. We're caring too much what everybody thinks. So when I say pick a new everybody, it is up to you to create and foster relationships with people who are more interested in your growth than your comfort. Most of the people who are well-meaning when they give you advice around just about anything. But think about it this way. Most people have kind of resigned to their current position in life. And I don't mean status. I don't mean status. I just mean their current satisfaction level. Their current, where they're at. They just kind of assume this is just life. I should be grateful for having a job, a house. A lot of people don't even have those things. And so many people are really comfortable in mediocrity. So many people are really comfortable not going for their dreams and goals. That is the norm. It is the vast majority of people, probably more than 90% of people, are so comfortable there. And so if you start to go down a path or start to talk about things that might be a little bit outside that comfort level for them or what they think is safe, they're going to, with good intentions, discourage it. They want to protect you, especially those people that care about you. They want to protect you from hurt. They want to protect you from disappointment, and that's a good thing. However, the people who really want to see you thrive I guess I shouldn't say the people who want to. I think these people do want to. They are just filtering their advice through a much different lens because they don't have in their mind, they don't have a mindset that they can have what they want, that you can have a job, a purpose, a calling, a life that is lived with purpose and fulfillment, that is joyful, that you can't wait to wake up every day and live. They are just, they don't believe, that's not a belief system that is real to them. So it's foreign. It's not even something that they believe is a reality. So it's not that they don't want it, but we have to create that new everybody. We have to be really intentional about it because it's hard to find. They're not everywhere. They're just not. So you have to create these communities. You have to reach out to those people who you know are like a step ahead of you. Actively be pursuing relationships and investing time with those people who are doing something a little bit scary and maybe are taking steps towards their dreams, are shutting out the mainstream voices. Those people who are like gonna call you out when you're making excuses. That's what I want. I don't want someone to say, oh, it's okay, Megan, that you didn't work out all week. You know, you're fit already. It's not like you're gonna get fat. I don't want that. I want someone to say, get over yourself. Who cares if you're tired? Like, you know that you're gonna feel so much better. You're gonna have so much more energy. Isn't that what you want? You like challenges. Challenges make you stronger. Challenges build character. You know, I mean, people aren't gonna be that like, well, most people, most of the time, that's not like how that conversation looks. But you get the idea. I don't want someone to just say, "Oh, it's okay. Yeah, it was a hard day. You had a hard day today," or "It was okay. It's okay. You know, you can cheat tonight." But I'm not implying that we should. I live a life of moderation, and I encourage that. My point is, we can really excuse a lot of things because we don't when we aren't happy with ourselves, it makes us uncomfortable to see others doing things that makes them happy. And so those people, with good intentions, will sometimes, take you down with them. And it's really important that you, it's really hard. It's really hard to stay up when you're around the negativity. We might think, oh, I'm a strong person. I'll just keep my positive attitude, but you know better than that. You hang around. Denzel Washington does a little video. You hang around the barbershop long enough, you're gonna get a haircut. Like, you hang around that long enough, you're gonna go down with them. They say you're the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. Go find those 5 people plus. Find a community, accountability, support, success partnerships, people that make you want to be a better version of yourself. You have to actively seek it. They're not going to land in your lap. It is something that you have to actively be searching for. Spending time with those people, calling them on the phone. Be presumptuous and ask for their time. I promise you, any person who has had some success in an area and they have someone reaching out to them, any good person wants to share that. So, I encourage you to pick a new everybody. Stop worrying about what everyone else thinks. I have notes. I want to make sure that I'm covering. So I think this is true, and I want you to be careful with this. This is something that I did. Most of us have a very short list of those people that we worry about. I remember when I was uncomfortable as a new coach, and I was, worried about what people would think. There was really like 2 people from like high school or college that came to mind. Well, I don't want them to see me post that. They'll think I'm weird. I want them to like judge me. Like, oh my gosh, wow, why would we let one person control our destiny? Because that's what we're doing when we like worry about that one person. Like, I need to stay out. I'm 36 years old. Like, I'm not in high school anymore. I need to get that mindset away. So pick a new everybody. That's my 3rd point. My battery's gonna die, so I might have to like find 1 second. Here we go. Just so we don't die. All right. And we're back. Thank you. Okay. Facebook crowd, you're good? All right, we're good. Okay, so that's the three different points. I hope that you got some value from that. But I have created a community just for people like you, or just for people who are looking for accountability, looking for support, looking for positivity, looking for a community, looking for people who make them want to be a better version of themselves, who are going to be there for them, who are going to comfort them, who are going to, lift them up, who are going to be a true friend. I've created that community for people like you. I've created a community through coaching that helps people to be the best version of themselves in their fitness, their health, their personal development. That is how coaching has really helped me to live this purpose. Because guess what? At the end of the day, I 100% know that at this point I'm where I'm supposed to be. That doesn't mean it's not going to change. That doesn't mean that it's not going to evolve over time. Because I think for some people, you kind of just know you're in your calling for the rest of your life, but I don't think it has to be like a once in a lifetime thing. I think that we're kind of in this continuous process of shedding what we don't need or what doesn't serve us, and getting closer and growing closer to the person that we want to become. Like always, like I might think I'm, in my calling right now as a motivator and a mentor, but that doesn't mean that it's not going to evolve. If I stay in continuous pursuit of these three things, if I stay in continuous pursuit of taking each scary step and each baby step in faith and obedience that comes to me, because you've never like arrived in your purpose, your calling, like it's a continuous journey, right? So kind of keep that in mind, that this is not just like, okay, I do this and it's going to be like, bam, here it is for the rest of my life. This is a continuous journey. So I've created this community through Beachbody, this coaching opportunity. So many of the people who work with me, they might move on to become coaches. They might just want that fitness support and that personal development. My phone isn't, or my computer's not charging. It's plugged in, but it's not charging. So I'm afraid it's going to cut out. Well, it's a good thing I have this Facebook Live going just in case, right? No, we're good. So let me tell you what it looks like each day, and how this might be a part of your journey to finding your purpose. Each day I wake up and I know that I have a support group to check into, that I'm going to share when I did my workout, if I did my workout. I'm going to share if I had my nutrition today, and for accountability and support. I am, as a coach, I am going to be messaging other people and helping them get started on their journey. But even if I'm not a coach, I'm going to be connecting with others in my support groups who are on that same journey. So right there, I am lifting myself up with community. I am being accountable to my fitness, my health, and personal development. As a coach, that's like, there's 4 vital behaviors as a Beachbody coach, and the first one is personal development. They are so hell-bent on growing you as a person before they are about you making money for the company. If you are not a whole, healthy person, how can you serve many people? Your ability to serve others is going to be directly related to your ability to grow, or your personal growth. And so they know that's like the #1 thing. And so that is like such a part of the lifestyle. So when I wake up, I'm going to get my workout in. I am going to check into my support groups. I am going to, during the day, I am going to be checking in with different people who might need my help, who might want to be part of my challenge groups. So month to month, we have these 30-day, 21-day groups where people get started with a good, hard start. So they don't have to take the long journey that I took to figuring it all out. They get a lot of guidance, they get support, they get some action steps, they get the tools. They don't have to go find it. It is handed to them right there. I am so passionate about sharing with others what has grown me as a human being, that I am so excited to create this environment for people. I don't care, and I say this to my team all the time, and so if there are some of my teammates listening, you're so tired of hearing me say, I don't care. I think people get really freaked out about direct sales, network marketing companies. Because there's this idea that like only the people at the top are successful. BS, because my coach isn't like making she's just not working the business, so she's not really earning off of me much at all. And I don't think she is at all. So don't think of it that way. It's not true. But we had this idea that, that person's gonna like make me work harder. My success is their success. It is, I'm just a pawn in this pyramid or whatever. People think that, and that's what I thought for a good, long time. But any of my team knows I will not impose goals on you. I don't care what you want. If you come, whatever you want is what I want. And so if that is just fitness help, if that is just you want your accountability to your goals, like cool, like let's get that. If you want to build a business, if you want to build full-time income, part-time income, just a few $100 a month, like that's cool. Whatever it is, I'm totally cool with that. I will never impose goals on people. I will encourage them. I'll push them out of their comfort zone. Whatever your goals are, that's our goal as a coach. Okay, it's not about what we want. What I will impose on you is growth. I don't care what you want as far as like building success, but if you're going to be in my circle of influence, you are going to be dedicated to becoming a better version of yourself every day. I would feel like I am unethical as a human being on this earth with any kind of, coaching business to not be, challenging people to become better. And that could be a really slow process. I don't mean I'm going to be up in your face. I just mean we're not going to just plug you in a spot to create a pyramid or whatever it is people think. I don't know what people think about it. Maybe I'm just assuming what's not true, but people think. But like, I've created this community for the purpose of helping people to find their purpose. And that could be building a coaching business that's, going to fulfill them like it's fulfilled me, but it may not. I've had a lot of conversations with people. I've had a lot of conversations with people who I've come into contact through coaching that I've been able to coach them through some of these things to help them to like have clarity around their goals that are outside of anything that I do. That is what I am super passionate about. So what else what do we do in our day as coaches? We are actively in pursuit of helping others. We are reaching out to people, connecting with people, providing value. We are providing value. We are not trying to just sell products. We're trying to change lives. We're trying to bless lives on a holistic level. So I'm not going to go too much into the coaching opportunity because that's not why most of you are here. I will say if that is something that you do want to like ask questions about or you do want to pursue, there's a couple different ways to go about that. We have 30-day challenge groups, just like I explained to you, that have every single tool you need to like launch your journey. We also have short-term free 5-day environments where you get a meal plan, you get coaching, and you get sample workouts. I have one starting next week. And this one especially is special to me because it's called Wake Up to Your Best Self. This free 5-day plan has, you have your meal plan, your shopping list, exactly what you eat, like your meal prep. People lose 3, 4, 5 pounds at least, it varies. Average is about 3 to 4 pounds, but I'll insert the disclaimer here. Results vary. But Wake Up to Your Best Self, I'm helping people with a morning routine, taking anywhere from 10 minutes to an hour and helping you to customize a morning routine that helps to set you up for your best productivity, for peace and joy in your day and results. So many of us kind of get into our days and we just feel hassled, like we're just hassled and hurried and chaotic. And by the end of the day, we're just exhausted. We don't accomplish anything. So I'm going to show you how I create so much more productivity and accomplish goals faster and with joy and peace with a simple, very simple, but very important morning routine. So that's something that I'm offering a free group. So there's a couple ways that this opportunity could bless you. Or if you're interested in learning about how to actually be a coach yourself and helping others and finding purpose to that, if that's why you wanted to get on this call because you already had the idea that coaching was something that you were interested in pursuing or you wanted to learn more about, we have a new coach training called Team Phoenix University, where we take you through the 10 assignments of learning exactly what we do as a coach. It is a tried and true system to create success as a coach, starting with the focus of, number 1, bettering yourself. Number 2, serving others, serving your own personal growth and self, serving others. And number 3, creating an income, creating wealth. Obviously, you can't invest time and energy into something like this indefinitely without obviously expecting compensation. Some people, have goals for more than others. It varies based on your goals. But those are the focuses. You improving yourself, 2, you being having purpose and meaning in your life by sharing that with others. And then 3, growing an income through it. And if you do number 1 and 2 really well, number 3 will be no problem. That's what I've lived. And it continues to be true with those on my team that I've watched. Okay, so let me go to the chat and see if there's any questions. I don't know if I had anything else not in the chat. Just Marianne talking about my hair. You say that because you always see it in a gross ponytail, and this is the only time you've seen it washed and styled. Marianne has joined me for a miracle morning at 5:30. I'm not going to require that, people, but that is something that I offer to people. If you want to join me, we'll do it together. I promise you, if you implement these 3 things, if you are intentional about these 3 things, you'll wake up a year from now in a different place. Confidence. That is what I've gained through these things mostly, is confidence to just take action and pursue those things that I otherwise wouldn't have. I've been afraid to pursue. Fulfilled, doing something with meaning, changed from the inside out. So I hope this was helpful. I hope you found some value in what I shared tonight. If you have any questions or insight or feedback, or please reach out to me. If you're on the live feed over here on Facebook, you can comment below this post and the recording if it's, if after this ends, or for those of you who are watching via the webinar or the replay, you can email me back, because this will be emailed to you from my email address. So I'd love to hear from you. And thank you so much for spending time with me this evening. I really hope this blessed you. Have a great night, and I hope to talk to some of you soon. Bye, guys.